everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for joining me for another episode today. It's going to be a quick one. I just haven't been on here in a few days, but I've been staying active in the hobby as always, so figured I would check in and go through this little stack of cards, which are cluttering up my desk and waiting to be put away here. And these are pickups from sportlots.com. And then after we get through that little stack, I have two other pickups from eBay of a baseball player that I've been targeting this offseason to show off and talk a little bit about. So let's start with Sportlots, and here's the first card while I talk. If you haven't heard of it, it's a great site to find discount cardboard on. There are a couple caveats. Number one, you don't get to see a photo most of the time, so you're taking a little bit of a risk buying a card, sight unseen. And number two, the user interface is pretty terrible. It feels like you're browsing for cards on the internet in like the year 1995. But if you can get past that, you don't mind a little risk on some cheap pickups, there are deals to be had. And as an example of that, this Wayne Gretzky, which is an awesome retro parallel from the O-Pee-Chee flagship hockey set, was $4. These are great parallels that are done every year. They don't mimic an exact release in the history of hockey cards. They more just have a general retro vibe, but they're not easy cards to find with a 600 card checklist, especially for star players like the great one. And I love any Gretzky card where he's pictured in the Oilers sweater. So that one is headed for the newly formed Wayne Gretzky Z Folio here at Shoebox Legends headquarters. Great pickup there for $4. And then from Gretzky to the guy who's chasing Gretzky, how about a nice Alex Ovechkin? I actually have a trio of Alex Ovechkins here. First one is a clear-cut parallel acetate cardstock from 2020. Love picking these up. They're not serial numbered, but if you know, you know. They're not that easy to come by because they parallel the entire checklist, which is hundreds of cards deep, and you only get a couple of them per case. So finding any one player like an OV, you'd have to open many, many cases, perhaps hundreds of cases of Upper Deck Hockey to pull just one of those clear-cut OV cards. So I'm happy to have that. That was under $10. I think I already have a copy, but at an under, sub $10 price point, it's hard to pass those up. Then I have two more OVs, and then we're going to move to baseball and other things to close it out. We'll move away from hockey. But I've been picking up his Scoring Kings inserts from Fleer Ultra. I love that this insert brand, Scoring Kings, goes back to the 90s. They had them in basketball. There's a couple of famous, or at least one famous Michael Jordan Scoring Kings card. They had them in hockey as well. So I have like Wayne Gretzky Scoring Kings inserts from the 90s, and then from the 2000s, Alex Ovechkin Scoring Kings. So this one is a 2007. It was under $5. It's just a standard insert. There's really nothing that special about it, but it's a third-year OV, and I love the concept. And what they do is, in the foil here, you can see the number 98, and that represents his career goal total at the time that this card was issued, essentially after his first two seasons. That's kind of cool. And then from the same seller, if we go back 1 year to 2006, I got this one, which is a second-year insert of OV. And what's glaringly obvious here, why this one is so much better, is in 2006, they were still using the rainbow foil on these cards. So this is not a parallel or anything of this insert. This is just the regular insert. This is how they look. They're all this way. But I love that. You've got the team name, the Scoring Kings, the logo, the player name, and even the Ultra logo, all done in just wonderful rainbow foil. So just love this card. I'm doing a row of 3 of each of his Scoring Kings inserts in my OVZ folio. So that's where those are going to be headed to after I stop today's video. And then let's move in. I've got one Star Wars card, and then we're going to finish out with a dose of some baseball. So check out this Star Wars card. And this is another example of just, buying cards on the cheap, sight unseen, and having it pay off. So these are not really easy cards to obtain. This is from Star Wars High Tech, and this particular card is from 2017, which is the third and final year of a 3-year run of Star Wars tech releases. Already had a copy of this, but I bought this because it was up for just $5.02, as you can see on my receipt, and that's quite cheap for a Darth Vader especially. Even though this is just a base card, this was a high-end product where in like a hobby box for maybe $80 or $100, whatever it is, you only get like one pack of 8 cards, I think it is. So even the base cards are, hard to come by, and they all have different patterns in the background. So even though I already had a 2017 Vader, I bought this one sight unseen for $5, and it worked out because it turns out the 2017 Vader that I have has a different background pattern than this one. So really happy with that. Latest addition to my ever-expanding Star Wars collection. And now let's move to baseball to close it out. I have a couple more Sport Lots pickups on the baseball front. This one came in from my Sport Lots box, which means they held it there for me for quite a while after I purchased it. From 2018, Topps Heritage, it's the Hammering Halos subset card of Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. Of course, no longer teammates, but for a period of years, two of the best athletes in baseball on the same team. I think we'll look back fondly, even though they were, very unsuccessful in those years as far as winning championships or even making the playoffs. It's just really cool that those two titans of the game played on the same team for as long as they did. And being a 2018, that's actually a rookie year Shohei Ohtani card. It's not a rookie card because it's a subset card. I get it. It doesn't meet the definition of a rookie. I'm not claiming that it does, but it is kind of cool that it comes from 2018. And I just love the image there of Ohtani showing Trout some respect and vice versa. I just think it's a really cool card. And like the Ovi clear cut, it was under $10. And at that price point, I was comfortable picking that up even without a photo. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, $10 is probably about the most I would spend on a single on Sport Lots just because of that. But lack of photo. But you can also get some great cheap deals, like I mentioned. So this next one, here's my receipt. I bought 6 copies of this card for just $2.22 plus a couple bucks shipping. And it is just a base card from Topps Stadium Club in 2019, the Jackie Robinson, because I love the image. I mean, check out this photograph. How cool is that? Look at all the fans here waiting to get Jackie's auto. He's obliging and signing looks like an autograph book for a couple of younger fans. This imagery is just Stadium Club at its best. I love everything about this. And although it's a base card, I didn't buy this because of its monetary value. I bought it because it's just fun and it looks incredible. So happy to have half a dozen copies of that for, under $5 shipped. Maybe I'll do a whole page of these in a Z Folio at some point, but really dig this card. And it's kind of in more than one way, this card touches on some topics that I plan on covering in future videos as well. So just a little preview there today with that lot of half dozen Jackies. And then that's going to do it for the Sport Lots pickups. I'm all caught up now on stuff I've picked up on that site until something else comes in here. But I do have 2 other eBay pickups that I wanted to talk about. They're both made over the last month or so. They're the same player. We got the first one out of its case here so we can get a better look at it. But everybody's been talking about, and I get it, Shohei Ohtani signing with the Dodgers, and of course Juan Soto signing with the Yankees. Big fan of both of those players. I collect them both. I'm looking forward to collecting them both on their new teams as well. And I do think it's good generally for the hobby and the sport of baseball, in a sense, to have their big stars in major markets like that. But, the player that I keep gravitating towards, it seems like almost more than anyone else, is Mookie Betts, because his prices are just so cheap, commensurate with his talent level, that I'm not sure I understand it. I know, especially with Modern, a lot of the value in cards is driven by buzz. Over the last week, I've seen hundreds of rare Ohtani and Soto cards that I hadn't seen in quite some time all go up for auction at high prices because there's a lot of buzz, and fans of the Dodgers and the Yankees are excited about those players and buying up those cards, and speculators are, thinking those guys have a better chance to make a notable career now. So I get that to an extent, but here's a guy in Mookie Betts who's already done it all. He's won a World Series in the American League. He's won one in the National League. He's won a batting title. He's been a multiple-time All-Star, Gold Glove winner. He's an MVP. He's probably going to go down as one of the best players in his generation overall, especially in terms of WAR, things like that. After Mike Trout, I think he's the guy, but his prices just don't reflect it. And as evidence of that, I picked up this refractor from 2023 Topps Heritage. Amazing season that he just put in. Looks great with the blue here on the 74 design. These are serial numbered, in this case to 574. A line of cards in Heritage that's extremely popular in the hobby, and rightfully so. And I bought this card within the last month after the incredible season that he just had. And I kid you not, this was $4 on eBay. So I am going to scoop these up all day long. Mookie deserves way more love than that. This should not be a $4 card ever on any planet. And so it's now in my collection. And then I have one graded Mookie to close it out from a brand that I really love, and that is Topps Chrome Sapphire. So I've been kind of slowly building out my Mookie Betts Sapphire collection. But a big regret that I had was missing out on the 2016 and the 2017 Sapphire releases, because those were the first two Sapphire sets when they were put out as complete box sets, and they were limited to just 250 copies. So although they're not serial numbered, it's acknowledged by Topps that in each of those first 2 years, 2016 and 2017, they produced only 250 factory sets of Sapphire. And so there are just 250 Betts cards out there. And having whiffed on those, I was collecting in 2016 and 2017, but you just can't get everything. And so I didn't get those Mookies at the time, and it's kind of haunted me. So I've had an eye out, ear to the ground, try to land these, and was fortunate to get this one recently. Scored the 2017 second year of Sapphire. Again, one of just 250 copies that are out there. This is not my favorite design of all time. I don't really love the stripes in the background. I understand the frustration that some collectors have with that design. But as a Mookie Betts collector and a lover of Sapphire in general, this is a card that I've been trying to get for quite a while. This surfaced at auction in a PSA 9. I think this fall, within the last maybe month or so. Might have even been, sooner than that, last 2-3 weeks. And was able to win this under $30 was my winning bid. So, which is, not much more than what it costs to just submit a card to PSA at this point. And just really, really happy to check that one off the list. So everyone else, just keep on buying your Sotos and your Ohtanis and leave these Mookie cards to me. I will keep soaking them up and vacuuming them up here in the off season. Love me some Mookie. And for today, we're going to cut it there. I said it was going to be brief, and I still went over 12 minutes. Just can't seem to help myself, but I sure appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed some of the variety in today's episode. I'll be back soon with more content. I have some great stuff planned here around the end of the year. But until then, I hope you all enjoy the hobby and stay safe. Take care.